I will go over again what happened last week because it will not be in the first take because of the issues with connections. Last week's race in Silverstone. It's quite a boring race overall. With an alright start, most of the action was really at the start in the sort of the first phase of the Grand Prix, and then afterwards it just kind of calmed down and mellowed out to a point, sort of like what USA did. But just to mention that it is just me this week due to Tom. I don't know his whereabouts at this moment in time, so hopefully he'll be back next week with me in the commentary box. But moving on from that, what do we expect from Russia? Russia is a tailgate track in theory, in it built by the man himself, as you would think. To describe, it's got a lot of flowing turns, but then it's got a lot of very tight technical turns as well. So the best way of summing this track up is it's not really given the best races in the last few years in real life, maybe apart from one or two. It's not been on the calendar very long. I'm on the calendar since 2014. But as I say, hopefully the drivers can put on more of a show than what happened last week, because that was a bore fest, to be real honest. As I think we have everyone in the lobby, just to make sure. We have 16 in the lobby. Yep, we had 16 before. To note, we have Caesar returning to the session, to racing, after what happened in the last couple of weeks. He's decided to return, which is good for the league. It means we don't have to lose another member. We've already lost a fair few members this season, due to them being annoyed with the game. So, before we go into the race, who do I think is going to get pole position? Well, from the first take, which you probably won't see, Sam Hez looks once again to be on fire. The Red Bull driver, as usual, showing what he's got, but it's a lot closer this time from what the first take showed. So we're getting ready to go. Seeing that he was only 2/10 quicker, even though he only did one run. He was only 2/10 quicker than Cinnamon Rage in the Toro Rosso, and about 3 or 4/10 quicker than Rosberg, who looks to have found a little bit of pace again. Loading into the session now, so we will be having qualifying underway shortly. With Jono, who's on his lap. Hopefully he can get his lap done first time round this time, rather than getting a corner cut. We'll see if that lap from K-Boy was invalid or not, if that time doesn't actually come up. So we have Slow Dog, who obviously had to rejoin the session, hasn't gone out yet, and Snake, who has not gone out on a lap either. As John comes round to finish his lap. Around the final couple of corners, the Sauber driver goes a little bit wide, not quite hitting the apex, but I think he's made it okay. Heading down towards, and he will set as a 1:36.9. So K-Boy's lap was indeed invalid. 34.5 from the Rosberg goes quicker, a 1:36.6, and Lanchman pops himself into third on a 1. Jono then. Well, the times are flying in now. We'll have a look at the times once everyone has established their lap times, as we have a bit of a back end out action as Cinnamon Rage sets a fast lap on a 1:35.2. What a lap time from the Toro Rosso driver. Very, very quick, and is looking on the pace. About a second or so up, or a second or maybe more than that, up on Rosberg, who needs to make ground in the championship on this man here, Sam Hez. There is a little bit of lag off of Sam Hez's car. He looks like he's crabbing. Now that might not be lag. It's very interesting. So yeah, it's through the last corner. It looks like he's constantly going through it. It's a 1:35.7. He does not quicker. So Rosberg is on another lap and needs to improve his time, because he is a fair bit off of his championship rivals. Binky has popped himself into third, a 1:36.5. Not bad a lap time from the Mercedes driver, from the Red Bull driver, and to back up his teammates. I'm getting a little bit of lag here. Don't know why that is. Probably just game connections. Not always the best. Looks like it sorted itself out. As Rosberg comes around the last corner, is he going to improve it? It's a 1:36.4 and he displaces the second Red Bull of Binky. Pops himself into P5 and a 1:36.7. Scar is on a set of the super soft tyres. No, ultra soft tyres. It's Roland that's on the super soft. Excuse me. As he's coming through the last sector, setting down his lap time. He was very, very quick last round. In Silverstone, didn't really get a chance to prove himself, so hopefully he can do a little bit of a better job and maybe stay out of trouble as he comes round the last corner. P3, a 1:35.8 for the McLaren driver. Not bad lap time. As Warner pops himself, is on P4 and a set of super softs, so 1:36.3. Very good lap time from the Force India driver there. In the Williams, he's on a 1:38.2 at the moment. Field looks quite close, I'd say, at this moment in time. As he comes through the last corner, he's most of the track to himself at this moment in time. Where is the Williams driver going to put himself? It's a 1:37.8. He improves, and it's only P13 though. And Rick running very wide as he goes to start his lap. As K-Boy goes to start yet another lap, as he has traffic in front of him. Hopefully this should put the Haas driver off, as he's on very low fuel, so he's on max attack as well, so it is definitely going with this lap. As the driver will all try and get out of the way of the Haas driver, apart from the Renault, who is not moving. Now he does, so hopefully that will put the Haas driver off as he heads down towards the end of the first sector. 35.0 for the Haas driver. Not bad first sector time, very, very good in fact. And he had to set a lap time as well, so this is a chance for him to make an impression on the current standings. At this moment in time, as K-Boy goes round, we will see it is Cinnamon Rage on pole position with 3 minutes 45 left. Sam Hez is in second, Scar is in third, Warder is in fourth, Rosberg is in fifth, Binky is in sixth, Caesar 7th, Monobrow 8th, Jono 9th, Joe in 10th, Roland in 11th, Lanchman in 12th, Dom in 13th, and Matty is currently the last of the drivers to set a lap time at this moment in time, as we see Cinnamon Rage is now out on coming out for yet another lap, so we will go on board with him. Actually, we'll go on board with Monobrow next, because he is going to be starting his lap pretty soon as well, as we will see where K-Boy puts himself as he comes round the last corner. Heading round the last corner now. Where's this lap time going to put him? It's a very slow lap time. That's another invalid lap. Oh, it's P11, 1:37.4. Monobrow coming through the last corner. It's a 1:36.8, and he pops himself into P8. Going board with Cinnamon Rage, who is going to be starting his lap. So is Sam Hess. Sam Hess is out for yet another lap as well, as we have 2 minutes 40 left of the session. So these will be the last gasp laps for these drivers to improve their lap times. Coming through to start his lap is Cinnamon Rage. He's trying to get a little bit of space. He's in lane max, he's changed to fast. And here goes the Toro Rosso driver. Pick your lane good perfectly for this last corner to set yourself up well, as he locks up a little bit. Going into the last corner to start, you need to get your lane perfect into the last corner. Being careful of the outside curbs. He goes to start his lap and heads down through turn 1 with the DRS going to be wide open as he heads up towards 200 odd plus miles an hour into turn 2. Important to get your braking right for this corner, as it is very easy to corner cut, as he looks like he got it absolutely perfect. Also very crucial to nail the apexes but get a wide line to carry as much speed as possible through this first section of corners. As he heads into the end of the first sector, is he up? I don't know if he's up in his time, we'll have to find out at the end of the lap. It's a 34.3 from the Toro Rosso driver. It is looking very quick. Sam Hess is also on a lap as well. He will be looking to improve as the Red Bull driver. As the Toro Rosso heads through the more technical section of the track, using all he can of the track and a little bit more, but it's still within track limits and having 2 wheels on the track. So he heads down the second DRS zone using the runoff area on that corner against. We have a yellow flag in sector 2 and sector 3. Coming down the second DRS straight, He heads down. Very important to pick your line here. That's a Mercedes getting out of the way there, I think. Nice clipping of the apex there from the Toro Rosso driver as he heads through the last section of corners. He looks like he's going to improve in this lap. We'll have to see. As he comes through, it's a beautiful line. He looks like he kicks a tiny bit too much on the inside curb there, but he looks like he got away with it. Coming through the last section of corners. Is he going to be able to improve on his lap? Last corner. It is going to be... Oh, it's a 1:35.5. It's not an improvement. He's going to go again. As here comes Sam Hez through the first sector. It's a 34.5. I don't know if the Red Bull driver is going to improve on this lap. We'll have to see. Cinnamon Rage is once again going for yet another lap. I don't think he improved. He is down in his first sector. He's backed out of the lap. So he's not going to have time. He's not going to be able to do another lap as we are almost out of time in the session for qualifying. Does it a 140? That's really slow from the sort of McLaren driver there. As Sam Hez comes through the last section of corners, getting as close as possible to the barriers. Heading through the last few corners. Is the Red Bull driver going to be able to make an impression on the Toro Rosso driver? As the Toro Rosso driver couldn't improve on his lap time. Rosberg is going to end the session P5 and a 1:36.2. That is not quick from the Mercedes driver when he needed to have pace. He still looks like he's lacking a little bit. As here comes Sam Hez through the last corner. Is he going to get pole? Yes, he has. It is a 1:35.1, 1/10 of a second. As Slowdog is backed off his lap. Scar hasn't improved on his lap either, and he finishes the lap. Here comes Warder through the last corner. He is charging. It is P3 for Warder on a 1:35.6. Anyone else looking like they're going to improve on their lap times at the moment? As we have the other Force India of Matty, who's all the way down in P12. Looks like he struggled for pace in this qualifying session. He doesn't look like he's improving though. Coming through the last section of corners. This can make all the difference as Cinnamon Rage has retired from the session. It is going to be him and the main team on the front row, which could be a very, very interesting race. As here comes the Force India driver through the last section of corners. Can the Force India of Matty improve on his 13th place? It is a very lowly position. No, he can't. It is still 13th. And that wraps up qualifying. What a qualifying session that was. Cinnamon Rage couldn't improve on his lap time. Sam Hez beats Cinnamon Rage by 1/10 of a second. It is then another 3/10 down to Warder. Then outside the top three it is Slowdog, Scar, Rosberg, Caesar, Binky, Jono, Roland, Monobrow, Joe, Matty, K-Boy, Lanchman, Dom, Snake rounds off the grid. So that was an interesting filled session there for me there. That was a very, very closely contested battle for pole position, as we will now wait for the drivers to sort out their setups, fuel loads, tyre strategies. Very easy one stop around this track if 2016 is anything to go by, as tyre was very low in that game unless anything has changed in this new game. I haven't driven Russia much on this game yet, so I think it's, from my experience, it's about the same as 2016 in terms of tyre wear, but who knows, maybe the drivers will see differently. We will have to see. That front row is going to be interesting off the line. If the lag and everything else has calmed down, it's going to be an interesting start between the front row starters of Sam Hez and the Toro Rosso of Cinnamon Rage. Don't forget also the drivers behind as well in the third and fourth rows, who could also get a very good start, but this track has been known for chaos in the past, so got to be aware of that, and hopefully that all the drivers are aware of this and don't try and take it too hard into turn one, as that's been the scene of many accidents in previous seasons in F1XL, so hopefully there's not a problem with that. And ready to go for the Grand Prix. And hopefully we get treated for a good race here. As we're going to the lights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go. It's a good start from Sam Hess, not so from Cinnamon Rage, as he has Warder all over him as we go further back. It is chaos all the way back. We have a Sauber spinning in the background. There's carnage in the background as Warder's got past Cinnamon Rage. Very good line there from Warder to take second place off of the Toro Rosso, as Binky has already got himself a 5-second stop-go penalty for getting one place through corner cutting. As Cinnamon Rage is under pressure from Slow Dog. He's not quite got the move done though. Scar's also fallen in the order. Rosberg too. Rosberg side by side with Caesar. Caesar's got the move done on the inside of the Mercedes driver. This is not what the Mercedes driver needs. He needs to be making moves, and it looks like he's stuck behind the Renault driver. K-Boy all over the back of the other Toro Rosso driver, but he's run wide. Binky has had a horrible start. He's down in P10. Dom's made up one position, it looks like, off of the grid. Head through for the first time through the lap as Warder is 9/10 behind. The gaps look like they're already starting to stretch out. Kind of expected with this race after the hectic start. It's kind of straightened out a little bit, but at least Scar this time has made it through the first lap, which can be a relief as to what happened last week. Sam Hess sets a fast lap of a 1:40.0. Warders, however, is keeping up with him. Cinnamon is under pressure from the Williams of Slow Dog. He's not able to make the move into turn 1, but he's still very, very close, and so is Scar behind. Only a few further tenths back. Rosberg is down in P7. That is not the start that Rosberg needed, and he has Joe pressuring him. He looks like he's struggling. Does he have damage, I wonder? I'm not sure of that one. I'll have to have a look. See if he has to pit anytime soon, as Roland has Jono, Lanchman, Monobrow and Roland have all had horrible starts and have had to go into the pits on lap 1. Not good starts for them. Joe looks like he is not able to make any headway, as Caesar is looking very, very potent on the back of Scar. The Renault man making his return after 2 races away from the league to take a break from the game. Heading through down towards when DRS will be enabled next lap around, as Cinnamon Rage is side by side with Slow Dog. Slow Dog has got the move done on the Toro Rosso driver as the Toro Rosso driver cuts the corner, and Scar nearly took advantage of that, but he couldn't quite do it. They head through the last section of corners. Looks like Scar's lost a little bit of ground. Cinnamon Rage has lost ground as well to Slow Dog. Slow Dog looks like he's got the measure. He's still 5/10 back, but he looks like he's falling back. So now 7/10 as they head through. Scar still all over the back as Sam Hess once again and sits a 1:38.7, the fastest lap of the race, and he's 1.6 seconds clear of Warder. It's been a horrible start for Cinnamon Rage, who has dropped from 2nd to 4th off the line. However, he's 9/10 behind, and Scar is only 2/10 behind him. When is he going to go for the move into turn 1 with DRS? No, he is not, as Cinnamon locks up though. He's not able to make anything into that though. So looks at Binky. K-Boy is holding up Binky, Dom and Matty. So Matty's all over the back of the other Williams of Dom. Now looks like, oh, Dom runs wide though. This is a chance for Matty to get through. Is he going to be able to make the move? No, he's not. He's not quite close enough. He's lost a lot of ground. But the Williams driver runs wide again. A second chance for the Red Bull, for the Force India driver to get through. Once again, not close enough. So the Williams driver is having to defend for his life, as we are soon going to go back on board. As Cinnamon Rage is falling a second back from Slow Dog. Not good. It's not a good start, and it looks like the Toro Rosso driver is struggling for pace around here. So K-Boy is all over the back of Joe. It's an interesting move there for K-Boy. I think he might have wing damage. He's picked himself up with a 3-second time penalty for cutting the corner there while trying to make the move on Joe. But Joe was not fazed by that in any way, shape or form. Binky looks like he's going to be coming under pressure from the Williams of Dom. Coming through the last section of corners. Scar is still only 4/10 as well behind Cinnamon. We'll go on board with that battle in a minute and see what comes of this battle. They head through the final corner. Is Dom going to be able to get anything done? It looks like actually Dom should be looking behind him more than looking forward, as Dom will have the DRS which will help him in the battle with Matty. But Matty's also got a gap. Matty's going to make, I think Matty's going to try and make the move. No, he's not close enough. Very, very smart thinking there from the Force India drivers. We go back on board with Scar in his pursuit of Cinnamon Rage in the Toro Rosso, as it looks like Caesar with this battling is catching up to the two of them as well, very slightly each lap, as Slowdog looks like he is pulling away, and it looks like Warder doesn't have an answer for Sam Hess. So it looks like Sam Hess has the pace once again and is pulling away with the race win this moment in time. But the race isn't over yet. We've only covered 4 laps of this Grand Prix, so really nothing can be said yet, as Dom has overtaken Matty. It looks like Matty got the move done, but then lost position again, as Dom and Matty are going side by side. Dom has received a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Looks a little bit of lag off the Williams driver. It looks okay though, as he comes through. Is he going to be able to do anything with this move? Scar also, just to mention, it's 3/10 back from Cinnamon Rage, but still not able to do much, as I think that's the the Force India driver running wide. This battling is going to cause a lot of problems for Cinnamon Rage, who's not going to like this at all, as it's not helping his case at all for helping him get away. As Slowdog is catching up to Warder. He's 9/10 within the main Force India driver here, as he heads through towards turn 2, but he's not able to do anything. But he's 6/10 back now, the Williams driver, looking very quick as well. 5/10 now. Does Warder have damage, or is he struggling? As they go through the end of Sector 1, it is 4/10 of a second between the Force India and the Williams, as Monobrow picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. Scar looks like he's struggling to keep behind now Cinnamon. Cinnamon looks like he's managed to pick up his pace again, and see Scar could come up against pressure from Caesar if he is not careful. If the Renault man can keep up, and it looks like Joe is 8/10 behind the Mercedes driver of Rosberg. Looks like Rosberg is struggling as well. From his initial grid slot has dropped down. He looks like he is struggling once again. I thought he had the pace early on, but he looks like he's once again struggling for pace. It's Monobrow, and I think, yeah, Monobrow and Lanchman are also very close on track. This is the battle for 15th place. Monobrow looking like he is the quicker driver out of the two. He is 5/10 back from the other Renault driver as they head through the technical sections. It looks like he's lost a little bit of ground, but he's gained it back. It's 5/10 of a second. Can he do anything with the DRS into this corner, as Joe is still within 6/10 of Rosberg? 5/10 now, as it looks like Slowdog has lost time to the Force India driver of Warder. They head through, as he did have the DRS, but Monobrow not able to make the move. Monobrow on a set of Ultra Softs, whereas Lanchman is on a set of the Super Softs. So a different strategy from the Renault driver, looking to go longer in this race than the Ferrari behind him. Of course, tyre were not so much of an issue around this track, as Matty is 8/10 behind the Binky. Looks like the Red Bull, after a decent start, had an issue at turn 1, and has really struggled since then to bring his form back. As here comes Monobrow. Is he going to be able to make the move as he opens the DRS, heading down towards turn 1? Is he close enough for a move? He's not going to go for it. He's way too far back, as it looks like Slowdog is still all over the back of the Force India driver of Warder. Warder is losing time hand over fist to the Red Bull of Sam Hess. Really struggling. 1 or 2/10 each sector, it looks like, from the Force India to the Red Bull driver up front. Though it looks like he's gained a little bit back through this last sector, so it could have just been a sloppy line from the Force India driver to maybe some of the corners, maybe, but I don't know, as Binky has managed to overtake Matty as they head through towards the DRS zone of turn 1. Is Slowdog going to be able to make a move? He's not been able to make a move so far. He is in rich mix. He has 4 laps of extra fuel to help him out here as Dom has cleared Matty. No, they're switching positions. As it looks like that Matty's already pitted on lap 7. That is very early. As we go back to the battle with Slowdog and Warder heading through towards the end of the first sector. Who's going to get it here? They're both on the ultra soft, so it's both the same tyre strategy here. As Joe has got past Rosberg and has relegated Rosberg to P8. Looks like the Mercedes driver is really struggling, but Joe runs wide. Here comes the Mercedes driver back at the second Toro Rosso. He goes up the inside. What a move from the Mercedes driver. They head through. What a move there. Is Joe going to be able to respond? No, he's too far back. So instant response from the Mercedes driver, who's really struggling. He's a 5.8 second gap to Caesar. As the gap once again, it's 3/10 between Warder and Slowdog. As they're going through the last sector. As it looks like, yep, Matty has come out the pits just behind Monobrow, who is not yet pitted. And is Matty on a set of super soft? Yes, he is. He is going to the end of the race, I think, unless he has another stock to make. But can he clear the Ferrari driver? Because he has to clear quickly, as it is crucial for his race to clear. As Slowdog has lost time, he's now 1.1 seconds behind. No, it's back down to 4/10 again. Slight timing glitch there. But he's 4/10 behind. Looks like Matty is struggling to keep up with the Ferrari driver. It looks like he's made a little bit of a mistake. Could be cold tyres that's making the difference here. As Monobrows fell back from Lanchman. Lanchman's managed to clear him. Back on board as Warder runs a little bit wide there. Got to be careful of that, because that could have a time penalty involved. As here comes Slowdog. Slowdog going to go for the move. No, he is not. Cinnamon Rage in the background and Scar. Cinnamon Rage is going to be looking at this battle and licking his lips, because these two are battling really hard and costing themselves time here, which could help the Toro Rosso driver gain back time. They are all sliding through that corner. Cinnamon Rage picked himself up a time penalty. That could be crucial later on in the race. It's very easy to pick up time penalties, and I'm surprised I've not seen more time penalties than that so far in this race. So the gap's 4/10 of a second as Slowdog opens the DRS. Is he going to be able to make a move here? I don't think he is. He's not quite close enough. Warder covers the inside line. The Williams drivers are going to have to go round the outside. No, he's not. Warder has the inside line covered there. And does he go through the last sector? Going into the last section of corners. The Williams driver once again not close enough. 4/10 back. Heading into the last sector as Cinnamon Rage is starting to catch up to this battle. And it could help the Toro Rosso driver as well. Matty's picked himself up a time penalty as well. Matty's 8/10 behind Monobrow, and he's looked like he is struggling. Warder, I thought Warder disconnected from the session there. He was just in the pause menu for a second. That could cost him time as he come down the pit straight. It is 1/10 of a second. This is Slowdog's best opportunity yet. Warder covers the inside line. He makes contact with the wall. Slowdog is through. Warder slides in behind, and it's a mistake from the Force India driver, who finally cracks under pressure of a few laps, but he's still there. 2/10 of a second is the gap as they head through. It's 8/10 also between Binky and Dom, which looks like the other closest gap at this moment in time. Matty is coming back at Monobrow as well. 6/10 of a second, but he's got to clear Monobrow as he is on fresher tyres, and this is costing him time. But this is now definitely costing time between Warder and Slowdog, as Cinnamon Rage is just creeping up very slowly but very surely as Warder runs a little bit wide. Looks like he's lost a little bit of time. Looks like Warder has got some kind of tyre wear issues at this point in the Grand Prix. It looks like he's going to have to pit pretty soon. As they head through, he still has the DRS. This is still keeping him in touch with the Williams driver, but I don't think he's going to be close enough to make a move. And all this fighting has helped the Toro Rosso Cinnamon Rage catch up. Caesar also making ground on the McLaren of Scar, who is having one of his best races of the season and has not had any issues thus far. Looking good for that driver, as Joe is all over Rosberg again. Rosberg has no pace. He has literally no pace in this race so far. I don't know what's wrong with the Mercedes driver, but he's really struggling. And at this point in time, with Sam Hess with an 8.6 second gap, as he's into the pits for what will be his first stop, looks like he was struggling for tyre wear. Let's see what tyres the Mercedes driver goes on to. As you can see, it's 4 times between Warder and Slowdogs. Warder doesn't look like he's given up on the gap. We'll have a look at that gap in a minute. It's the super softs, as expected. It's a new front wing as well, so it must have been wing damage for Rosberg. We head back to the front with the battle with Warder and Slowdog. And it looks like that Cinnamon doesn't quite have the pace to keep up with these two. Rosberg, it looks like he's going to come out and run out of P12 as Roland has retired from the session. Could that bring out a safety car? I don't know. As Rosberg has actually come out behind the McLaren of Snake, who he should be able to dispatch pretty quickly. As Monobrow is all over the back of Lanchman again. He's almost side by side with the Renault man. He's not able to make the move stick though. Getting through the first few curves towards the end of the first sector, the Ferrari looks pretty close. Could he make a move, as Matty also is still stuck behind this battle, and that's not going to be helping his tyres in any way, shape or form. As now 9/10 between Warder and Slowdog. I think Warder's tyres are now starting to fall off, and he could fall into the grips. That's just the time bug again. As Cinnamon Rage has pitted from P4. I think that will be for a set of these super soft tyres. Monobrows run wide. So has Matty, who's now the last runner in this Grand Prix. Looks like he's having trouble clearing this Ferrari. He can't clear him. He's only in standard mix and he can't seem to get close enough to the Ferrari. Cinnamon Rage is pitted. K-Boy's also in the pits, and that moves Dom and Binky up a place. And so far he's dropped down to P10. He may drop down further than that, as this looks like a great battle for P15. As it looks like one of the closest battles, Binky is battling with Red Devil Dom, as these two have gone to battle a few times this season so far, with both of them very, very equal in terms of pace. Who will come out on top? Will it be the Williams driver or will it be the Red Bull driver? So it looks like Binky has run a little bit wide. He looks like he's not been able to do anything. He's 1.1 seconds back and he's made a mistake as Rosberg clears the McLaren of Snake. That was no doubt that was going to be an easy move, as Rick now will fall back. Monobrow has got past Lanchman. Sorry, we missed that move, but he got past him. They're almost going side by side as they come down towards the end of the first sector. Monobrow haven't got the move done, hasn't quite got a job done yet, as it looks like Lanchman's made a slight mistake. This will allow Matty to catch up as well. K-Boy's coming right behind these three squabbling. That's not going to help the Haas driver any time at all at the moment. Looks like Matty still struggling. Lanchman though is not giving up on the Ferrari driver. He made that slight mistake, but he is coming back at the Ferrari. He's 7/10 back. As Slowdog, Warder, Scar and Caesar are all in the pits. Sam Hess, will he respond this lap? It is lap 12, which means it is about half distance. So I think they should be able to make the tyres go to the end of the race. He's going for a move on the Renault. Side by side into the last sector. Ranchman runs wide, so does Matty. They both make mistakes. Sam has picked himself up a time penalty, but he has a 29-second gap to Joe. He has not yet pitted, I don't think. And Soda has come out in third place, with Cinnamon in fourth, Warder in fifth. Looks like Warder suffered a little bit in the pits, must have been held up as Scar. Caesar's coming out. Binky and Snake are in the pits as well. Things are heating up here as we come through the last corner. Cinnamon Rage at the moment trying to chase down Slowdog to try and catch up. He's on a set of super soft. So is the Williams, I think. Yes, indeed he is. Sam Hess is not pitted yet. He's going to have to respond soon, because I think he may be down in his delta at this point, and this is going to be costing him time. He has a 29-second gap over Joe. I think he is pitting this lap, and indeed the Red Bull is indeed pitting. coming into the pit, he destroys the bollard as he comes in. Slow down for the pit lane. It's very important. He did not speed in the pit lane. This is crucial for the Red Bull pit crew to give Sam Hess a great lap time here. I don't think he is going to have to pit for any front wings. He's serving a 5-second stop go. This could cost him hugely. I think there's been a glitch there. That's going to cost Sam Hess quite a lot. But I think Joe is too far back. He's going to get away with it. But that's a horrible, horrible pit stop from the Red Bull crew. So Joe's coming through the last corner with Slow Dog in check as well. Here comes the Red Bull out of the pit lane. He has jumped Joe, but he's only 1.5 seconds. He's just kind of, just in front. And I think he's going to pull away from the Toro Rosso driver there. I think Joe's losing time. He's coming back. Matty picks himself yet another time penalty. Slow Dog is looking at this, and he has to clear the Toro Rosso driver as soon as possible, as Dom is in the pits, and so is Jono. Had a horrible race once again, has the Sauber driver had so far, as Slow Dog needs to make this move very, very quickly. But I wonder if Joe will hold up the Williams driver to help Cinnamon catch up and get back on the podium again. I wonder if there will be any team tactics. These have played parts in the season so far. Joe looks like he is defending the inside line as Warner picks up another time penalty. Slow Dog is going to the outside. He's going to try and go for the move round the outside, which will turn to the inside line if he can make it work. The Williams driver has the inside. He covers it, but the Toro Rosso driver has the inside for the next corner. As they head through, the Toro Rosso driver makes a mistake, and it is the Williams who will take second place off of Joe, who I think still has to pit. This will be an easy move, I think, for the Toro Rosso driver. Yep, as Joe goes, not Joe, as he just let him go. I think he will fight Warder though for track position to help his teammate. Warder has really suffered in the pits as Warder sets a fastest lap of a 1:38.3. That's a very quick lap from the Force India driver as he heads through turn 1 with the DRS wide open. Joe has the DRS as well, but is he going to be able to make the move stick? No, he is not. He's too far back, almost making contact with the rear of the Toro Rosso driver, but he hasn't made any as he head through turns 3 and turns 4, heading through towards the end of the first sector. Is he going to be able to make the move stick? No, he's not, and this is costing the driver. As Warder, what a line through, and he's going to make the move on the Toro Rosso driver. He's up the inside, but Joe is still side by side. Joe gives up on the position very, very wisely, not really fighting that position all too much. As Lanchman has 4 or 5 cars behind, Matty is all over him, heading down towards turn 2 with the DRS. Lanchman has made a mistake as Joe picks up a 3-second time penalty. I think that's his second or his third this race so far. Matty has made some progress, but these tyres must have suffered from being stuck behind in that battle with Monobrow. It looks like Jono is going for a move on K-Boy. Jono's made a mistake. He's spun the car, I think. As they head through the second sector, Matty's actually fell back a little bit. He's falling back into the clutches of his former teammate from season 9, Dom, who is actually keeping track with him. They also have K-Boy there as well in P13. This is the battle for the last point as John has retired from the session. Sam has set his fastest lap of 1:37.8. Very quick lap from the Red Bull driver on fresh tyres. One of the freshest of the field, I'd say, as he was one of the last to pit from the front runners. As Dom is all over the back of the Force India driver. Is he going to be able to make the move stick? He is not close enough. As K-Boy looks closer to Dom than Dom is to Matty at the moment. This is where the actual opportunity is for the Haas driver. Is he going to be able to make it stick? No, he's not. He's nowhere near, actually. As they head through the last sector. Is Matty going to be able to hold these drivers off? This is going to help Lanchman massively, just to get a little bit of breathing space, as he looks like he's holding on to the last points position at this moment in time. As they head through, Matty will have DRS, which will help him in his case against defending against the Williams of Dom. As it looks like K-Boy has fell back a little bit. Matty defends the inside line from the Williams driver, comes back across as he knows the Williams driver is not close enough to make it. As Lanchman has once again ran wide through turn 1, that is not going to help him at all. As Dom and Matty looks like they almost went side by side there as they head into the end of the first sector. Not quite. The Williams driver backs out of the move. As the first thing that runs wide, that's an opportunity for the Red Bull, the Williams driver, and it doesn't. Dom does not say no to that second opportunity, and that puts although he does run wide on the next corner, that can give Matty a chance at the Williams driver now, and tables turn for this battle as they head through into the more technical section of the track. Lanchman, this is going to help Lanchman now try and pull away, but Dom could have the pace to keep up. He is 7/10 back from the Renault man. He has the DRS, but he is 8/10 back, so we have a yellow flag in sector 2. I think that might be Jono's car, but I'm not sure, as K-Boy has made a mistake. I think he spun. That's a big mistake from the Haas driver there, as it looks like Lanchman is coming under pressure from the Williams driver of Dom. He's very close and he could make a move with the DRS into turn 1 and turns 2 if he gets his line right. Coming through the last section of corners, the Williams driver is very, very close as K-Boy picks himself up a time penalty. As K-Boy has retired from the session, he's had enough this race, as Scar picks himself up a time penalty. That could be crucial if he's anywhere near a driver, although I think Caesar is just within the 3-second mark at this moment in time. Heading down towards turn 1, the Williams driver is all over the back of the Renault driver. He's not going to be quite close enough though to make a move as they head down. Is he going to be able to make a move? No, he's not. He's not quite close enough, and he doesn't go for the dive bomb. Very, very sensible there from the Williams driver. Not quite going for the move, as Matty has fell back massively from this battle. Although this could help him, these two battling very, very heavily as they head through towards the end of the first sector. The Williams driver looks like he gets a better run than the Williams man. The Williams gets the driver, the Renault, sorry. As they head through into the more twisty section of the track, where it is more demanding and you need to be a lot more careful of corner cutting here. As they head in, it's very, very tricky, but Lanchman's made a slight mistake. He's ran wide. That's allowed Dom to close the gap to the Renault drivers. We have a great overhead shot heading through as we head into the DRS zone, as we have the Williams driver once again who will have the DRS. Is he going to be able to make the move stick? This time around, I don't think he's closing up once again, as Joe has pitted from P5. He just pitted not so long ago, so he must have made a mistake. That's why he's there, as it gives Scar P5. Once again, the McLaren driver doing a great job just to keep a quiet race, but also have a great race. It looks like the Williams has a better run than the Renault, but he's not able to do anything. This is not really the section for it. I think Joe, if he's not careful, is going to come out in this battle, unless he comes out slightly further ahead than these two battling, as K-Boy hasn't now left the session. As we head into the last sector again, into the last section of corners to come through, Lanchman is going to have to use all his nows to defend from the Williams driver. It's lap 17 of 27. What a race this has been so far. More action in this race than there was in the entirety mostly of the last race in Silverstone. As he looks like he's quite close enough, not quite for the Williams driver this time. 0.3 of a second. Matty's fell back massively. Is he lost pace? I think these tyres might have gone off already. Having been in that traffic for so long, Joe comes out in P8 behind Rosberg, but he looks like he could be on soft tyres, or that could have been for a penalty. We don't know, but I've never seen the penalty come up, so it must have been for a pit stop. Dom 4/10 back from the Renault driver. He's still not able to make a move though. 2/10. It looks like he's made a mistake though. Coming through, it looks like the gap will be slightly bigger, as the Renault will breathe a slight sigh of relief as he comes through, but not for long, as it looks like Dom has had the better line, and this looks like a great run, but Dom fluffs up the exit very slightly, which ruins his traction off of the corner and gives Lanchman the better run. So we're going board with the Renault man. Is he going to be able to keep an eye, keep the Williams driver behind him? Yes, he is once again. He's just placing his car where he needs to. As they come through, it's 0.2 of a second between the Renault and the Williams. As they come through, Sam Hez leads by 3.8 seconds. 3.5 now as Sorog is bringing the gap down to the Red Bull driver, who's had a very quiet race. Look at the gap's gone back up again. Looks like he made a slight mistake as they come to the end of that, the middle lap, wherever they are on track. As this is going, I don't know how, but Matty is not able to keep up with these two. As Dom once again has the DRS on the Renault driver. Is he going to be able to make it stick? I don't think he is. As he go into the second corner, not able to. Too far back, and it is a mistake from the Williams driver, running a little wide through turn 2 and turn 3. He's head through turn 4 and into turn 5. Heading through, is he going to be able to do anything with this? No, he is not. The rest of the field looks pretty spread out at this moment in time, and this is one of the only few battles I can see going on as Slowdog is losing time again to the Red Bull driver, very slightly, but it looks like he gains time and then loses time. Sam Hess sets a 37.6, fastest lap from the Red Bull driver, looks in control of this race, but Slowdog looks like he's keeping the gap just about there or thereabouts, but he's not able to do anything. But Dom is further back than he was last lap. He can't do anything. He's 6/10. He's not close enough for a move. And it looks like the Lanchman in the Renault can hold a sigh of relief for yet another lap, as Warder is 1.8 seconds behind Cinnamon Rage. That battle could develop pretty soon, as Cinnamon Rage, who's not had an awful lot of pace issues, can I see if he starts slowing down, as Dom nearly tries to go for a move there, can't do it though, comes through, as Matty is not able to do anything with this. He's falling back from these two. And he's in 12th, and it looks like he is struggling, but these two keep battling as hard as they are. Eventually he will start to make ground, as these two battling will cost each other time, and it's costing Lanchman time to Monobrow in front. 7.5 seconds is the gap between the Renault and the Ferrari, and Monobrow looks to be on his second point scoring record of this season so far. As we head through the order so far of this grid, as we continue to watch this battle, Sam Hens leads the race by 4.5 seconds. Lanchman's run wide again. Wonder if he can make a move stick. No, he quite can't at the moment. Cinnamon Range is 3rd, Warder is 4th, Scart is 5th, Caesar is 6th, Rosberg is 7th, struggling this race. Joe is in 8th, Monobrow 9th, Lanchman 10th. The battle for 11th we are watching here between 10th and 11th. The final points position, and Dom looking to keep his points form going after what was a very, very compromised race last round in Silverstone, as Matthew 12th, Binky 13th, and Rick rents off all the finishers, as K-Boy, Jono and Roland have all retired from the session. It was a double retirement from Sauber this round, which is not going to help them in the constructors at all, as Dom has got a better line coming into the DRS zone. Is he going to be able to make it this time? I don't think he is, as Warder is still about a second or thereabouts of Cinnamon Rage, but he can't make it stick. As they head through, Dom looks like he has the inside line this time, although that will turn to the outside. He can't make it stick. Dom just doesn't seem to have the pace where he needs to have the pace. It looks like he's just not quite got the grip coming out of the corners, which is costing him time. As we head through, once again, the Renault is having to defend from an awful lot of pressure to keep this P10, while his teammate is up in P6 having the most carefree race in the world. Matty is pitted again, which highlights the point that his tyres did indeed go off the cliff. As we have, I think that is Binky, who is coming in the background as well, who looks like he could capitalise from this battle, as we have 8 laps remaining in this race, as I think Matty will come out in P13. He is miles clear of Rick in the McLaren, who has struggled yet again, but is looking at one of his better results this season so far in 14th. As we head through, Matty's still in the pit stop, so it could be interesting. 0.3 of a second is the gap. As they head through into the first sector, Dom has been all over the back gearbox of this Renault for several laps now, and this cannot be doing the Williams driver any good for one, dirty air, or two, I would say, his tyres. And it can't be helping Lanchman's tyres either, because he's having to battle very, very heavily to keep hold of his position, as Warder for the first time has got the gap down between him and Cinnamon Rage down to 0.9 of a second, now 0.8. Another battle to look at rather than just the battles going on. Into a battle still only 0.5 of a second, but Dom's still not able to make the move stick. 0.4 of a second. Warder, however, has made a mistake as they come out of that complex of corners. He doesn't look close enough as we go back on board with the battle for P10, looking like the best battle on track at this moment in time as they head through the last section of corners. Once again, the Renault under pressure from the Williams as they come through the last section of corners, but Lanchman seems to have the grip where he needs to have the grip, coming off of corner exits, which basically means that Dom can't take advantage, and even though he has the DRS, which he hasn't activated this lap, it took him a long time to activate it there, He's not being able to make a move there, and I don't think he's going to be able to do it as he heads into turn 1. But Dom keeps behind him, and he just keeps pressurising the Renault there. The Renault may eventually make a mistake there. I don't know how that would work out, but looks like Lanchman is keeping it cool so far. And let's go through lap 21. This race has flown by as we head through the end of the first sector yet again with this lovely overhead camera shot. As we head into the second sector through this lovely section of corners, very flowing, into the very tight section complex of the track. As it's 0.3 of a second as Warder has lost ground once again to Cinnamon Rage. He can't seem to keep up, and it looks like Cinnamon Rage is going to grab his third position, third or fourth podium in the row, and his third place after his third place in Silverstone. As Sam Hess has had this race under control, led from pole position, never been in doubt for this race, and it looks like the Red Bull driver is going to take his first or second lights to flag victory. Dom has made a mistake. He's 5/10 back. He's 7/10. He's as furthest back he's been all race so far. As he can't. Dom's made a mistake. I think his tyres have started to go off. He's battled like way too much, but he's brought it back down to 9/10 of a second just so he has DRS, and this is keeping him in the fight with the Renault. Is he going to be able to do anything? I think he's too far back. He's disabled the DRS coming down straight. Not able to make it work as he runs very wide. That looks like that could be a corner cut warning for the Williams driver there. It's the way he ran wide there. As Benke is 4.8 seconds behind the Williams driver. So I knew but a battle could be forming between the Williams driver, who's running very wide now. And I think he's run ragged his tyres. P9, while his championship rival is leading the race. This is costly for the Mercedes driver, and it looks like his title challenge is just crumbling by the wayside. Although he is catching up to the Ferrari driver, who's been on those ultra softs a lot longer. So let's see what he can do when he eventually does catch up. I think he looks like on the fresher tyres, he's catching up to the back of the Williams driver for P11. Sam Hess picks himself up another time penalty, so he is now on 6 seconds worth of penalties, with the gap to Slow Dog 7.9. That only leaves him 1.9 seconds, but I think Slow Dog has time penalties as well, so it won't really matter as Joe picks himself up a time penalty as well. So race has calmed down a little bit, but had a great race so far as we're on lap 24 of 27. And although it is petered out a little bit, and Rosberg has won 4/10 of the Ferrari driver of Monobrow, and looking like the much quicker driver now out of the two. I don't think he'll make a move yet. I think he will wait for the direct. No, Monobrow just let him go. Okay then, that kind of took all the fun out of that battle. Race leader. What a race as he comes onto the penultimate lap. And Warder's falling back from Cinnamon Rage, so I think he's got it now. As Dom has dropped back from Lanchman. All that battling has cost him a lot of time on tyres. Coming through the last sector of corners to take what has been his most dominant victory yet, alongside Malaysia, where he also had a very dominant race. The Red Bull comes through the final corner. He's going to take victory by what is a very huge margin. Sam Hess wins the Russian Grand Prix for season 10 of F4. Aslora will finish P2. Cinnamon P3. Good podium for the Toro Rosso driver after recovering well after his first lap. He's dropped to 4th. Warder's finished 2nd. Penalties have come into play here, but Scar is going to get one of his best results of the season after what happened in Silverstone. Sorry, it is going to be P5 for the McLaren driver. What a race! As Caesar will come through the last section of corners. It is P6. Joe and the other Toro Rosso driver. It is going to be P7. Quiet race for the. He had a horrible middle, so that's a good recovery from the Toro Rosso driver there, Monobrow, going to come through for his second points finish, and F1XL F4's Dom's picked himself up another time penalty. It looks like a decent battle between Dom and Lanchman. Dom's coming back at Lanchman on the last lap. Is he going to be able to do anything? Looks like Lanchman's tyres have gone. Is he going to be able to do anything? As they head down towards the last corner. Monobrow has finished 8th. Lanchman looks like he's going to get P9. Dom is going to get P10, I think. He's not going to be able to do anything there. Dom finishes P10. Oh, he's finished P11. Penalties have cost him. Binky finishes P10. As Matty is going to be the last runner to finish this race. What a race. Oh, big improvement on Silverstone. What a race from the drivers there. Some great battles in that race. But now, as said before, this is going to be driver comments from some of the drivers. Sam Hez with another dominant win. Warder finished his second, having been very consistent and getting less penalties. And Warder finished his P3. Well done to the Williams driver on his podium. But Sam Hez once again proving his worth in this league. So, onto the full results. Sam Hez wins from Warder, Slow Dog, Cinnamon, Scar, Caesar, Joe, Monobrow, Lanchman, Binky, Dom and Matty are the last finishers in this race, as everyone else didn't finish the race. I have one question. I think the main question is going to be for this one. It is going to be, what a battle between you and Dom. A great race between you two, so tell us about that battle. Sambo. Welcome, Slow Dog. So tell us that battle. I'm out of breath after that. Oh.
Well, I had to pit on lap 1 because I got smashed behind by somewhere.
Yeah.
And came out with Monobrow and a couple others, and then managed to get ahead of Dom as he came out the pits when he pitted his time. He was putting pressure on, couldn't get me in the straights, and then somehow I don't know what happened to him, but he must have clipped me and found himself sliding back with some wing damage. I don't know what happened.
It looks like either wing damage or tyre wear, to be honest, because it looks like he used up all his tyres in battling.
No, I can't confirm it's wing damage.
Oh, it was one of the two. So, how did you withstand all that pressure for all those laps? Must have been very, very, very difficult to do so, with him constantly having DRS in the straights.
Well, you know, I'm inside Dom's head most weeks, so I just had to use that to my advantage. I've got the psychological edge, I think, paid dividends, and although my tyres were pretty shot towards the end, he was catching me at the end there, but you know, I think he sees Lanchman ahead of him in the Renault, and he thinks, oh, there's no way I'm getting past him.
It just looked like you had the better grip out of the corners. You just had the measure of him out of the corners, and that just kind of did the trick for you. And he was never close enough to make the move.
Psychological edge.
Who knows?
Edge, my ass.
So, Dom, we'll get on to your perspective of this battle.
Yes.
You just couldn't overtake. You had the DRS, but you just never could get close enough to him. What happened?
I tried, man. I tried. I tried everything. Switch fuel, standard fuel. I was getting close and close and close, but damn it. Couldn't get the move done.
He just defended just enough. Had the grip to just keep you behind, it looked like. But...
And then at the end, finding out I had so many penalties, I didn't get a point thanks to Binky being close enough. Damn it.
Yeah, unfortunately your points run comes to an end.
Damn it. That's no comments on the F1XL forum this week then.
But and the one so your comments we've had, congratulations to you, great battle between you two. One other battle we had to focus on that race was Warder versus Slow Dog, but I don't know if Slow Dog had if Warder had a mic, so we're going to get your perspective of this battle. So how was that battle from your perspective? Because it looked like a great battle.
It was epic.
Yes.
It was good. No, it was good. Unfortunately, Warder had a problem with his TV, deciding that he wanted to turn off, so he had to yield the position.
Right.
But I think I'd have got him anyway. I was getting there. I was closing in. I was sniffing his ass.
That's a bit of a weird comment.
I'm nothing if not consistent with my weird comments.
Yeah, but as I say, looks like if you had got less penalties, you could have got P2 in that race, as Warder proved there, with less penalties.
Well, that was the thing. It was a night of technical fuck-ups. There was no warnings or penalties popping up on my screen, so I had no idea.
Oh, fair enough then.
Yeah, I knew that I'd caught a couple of corners. I knew I had done, but I'd been getting no warnings at all during the course of the race. So I was like, well, okay. And for me at that point, then it was just managing the gap. I didn't need to push. I knew that I wasn't going to get Sam ahead of me, so I just cruised it. So it kind of caught me out a little bit, but you know, hey ho. I've still finished ahead of Cinnamon and Rosberg. So
yep, who retired today? Who's going to that's
Yeah.
going to affect him hugely in the championship. It should help you in the championship too against Rosberg, I'd say.
well, yeah.
7 rounds to go.
I mean, the title, Sam's. He's the quickest.
Yeah,
of all of us,
I
without
think
any
he's a bit
question.
too. I don't know if you agree with me, but I think he's a bit too quick for this league, and I know he'll probably go
he's
into
absolutely
F3 next
too.
season.
Can I say I agree?
Yeah, he's
100%?
absolutely. Yeah, he is too quick. But you know, he's still got to go out there and do the races, and it helps
Yeah.
when you can use your lag powers to wipe out Scar and people like that. So you know,
We'll not comment on that one.
but
That's not
aside
really
from
for
that-
comment at this moment in time. But yeah,
no, but he's by far and away the quickest. So it's for me, it's all about who's going to get, you know, second and third.
I mean, if
the rest of the
Rosberg
podium
keeps having
places are
nightmare
going.
races like that, and I think he may be real. I'm not sure. He's got 7 races to go, but he's lost 25 points to Sam, and I think that's going to cost him the championship. And I think that might have been
Well,
a nail in the
then-
coffin for his
yeah.
championship.
Well, there was coffin was already well nailed up anyway. I think.
Yep, but as I say, a good race from you overall, and I think that's where we're going to round this episode off for the F4 race at Russia. A lot better than the last round in Silverstone, I'll say that much, from a spectator point of view, and some great battles from the drivers, including Dom and Lanchman and Slowdog and Warner, to name a couple. So until
Warner
next
had a
time,
mic, by the way.
Yeah, he did. You can go and get him now if you want.
So until next week in Canada, we will see you next time. And if you'd like to round this out, you two with goodbyes, then that'll be that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thanks, everyone.
Canada, I don't know the rest.